Nilesh Jain is with us. Nilesh, good having you. Thanks for joining in. The index itself looks like starting about 0.5% or thereabouts higher. Are you trading the Nifty or are you trading specific stocks this morning?
Good morning, Neeraj. Good morning, everyone. Well, the week has started on a stronger note, so the sentiment has already turned positive. So a trade can be initiated only on decline, not on gap up. And I would rather wait for some meaningful decline in an intraday trade. If you get any dip towards 25,850, 25,800 zone, that's the area where one can go long. But the stock-specific action is something that we are focusing on. First buy recommendation will be on Indus Tower. The stock has given a good breakout yesterday, price and volume breakout. We are expecting a strong momentum to continue on the upside towards 480. So that's again a position target for Indus Tower. One can keep a stop loss below 446 and buy and decline should be the strategy in the Indus Tower. Immediate target could be somewhere around 465, but position target comes somewhere around 480 to 500.
Okay, so that's the individual view as well. So it's very interesting. Some of the low-hanging fruit for us, from our perspective, when we were picking stocks for you this morning, are doing particularly well. So we highlighted Navin Fluorine for you. We did highlight Linde. We highlighted BSC. Gravita India was something we told you about with regard to the copper recycling that they've gotten into. Railtel is something that we highlighted for you with regard to that LOA. It's doing particularly well. Amber Enterprises on the back of results was doing well. Pfizer is also in that list. So practically the top 10 from the 500 are things that we had highlighted for you. On the losing end as well, Newland Laboratories starting off pretty weak, 6.4% at this point, or over 6% or thereabouts is where it's looking right now. So the point is, on any of these, would you build in Kush? Based on the technical levels, early minutes, I must confess, but do you build into any of these?
Book profits.
In all the positives?
All of them, because of 5%, 4%, 7% kind of a gap up. On the back of last few days having seen that run up, why would you not? So BSC, Linde, Navin Fluorine, all of these are opening at levels which are, I wouldn't call them resistance, but fairly elevated. So yes, you're better off booking profits on some of these names. Like I said, last couple of days also a good run up, now a gap up. I mean, go out, book profits, enjoy that money.
Go out, book profits, enjoy.
How many times have you heard people say that over the last 6 months?
Not too many.
No, because there were no profits to book.
Exactly.
You had to enjoy without the money.
I'm happy that I'm hearing that finally. Good.
You had to enjoy without the money, last few. I'm just wondering in terms of themes, and of course today's theme is dominantly, how it appears so far, is going to be about individual corporate results. But as those sort of peter out, what are the pockets that you would look at, Parag, especially in the broader markets, based on what we've seen in terms of strong corporate earnings?
Yeah, so broader markets remain stock specific, as you rightly said. There is no particular sector. It is, it depends on how much the stock is beaten down versus what we expect in the future. That we have to balance, and then we have to find out that where there is an opportunity. So some auto components are looking interesting, some pharma names are looking interesting, some of them...
Which
so
ones?
Basically, for example, just to tell you, for example, Ajanta Pharma delivered very good numbers. Stock has not done anything after that. So that needs to be, so those kind of things, it depends on actually stock by stock and sector by sector. It will not be fair to generalize now. Because in mid-caps and small caps, what happened was everything was rogered. From November month, everything was rogered. So it is not actually a particular sector, it is stock by stock.
Now stock by stock, okay, let's talk about specific stocks this morning. Nilesh Jain, what are your top picks once you've seen the first flush of the pre-open?
Well, Indus Tower is something that is looking strong on the chart, and we have already recommended that for upside target of 470, 480. But apart from that, we are also keeping an eye on NBFC space. So Cholamandalam Finance will be another preferred bet within that particular pocket. So any dip towards 1760, 1765 can be a good opportunity to initiate long position, keeping a stop loss below 1735. And target on the upside could be somewhere around 1800 to 1820. So not only Chola Finance, but also if you look at counters like Shriram Finance, L&T Finance Holding, LIC Housing Finance. In fact, this particular space is looking positive from a short-term trading perspective.
Would you look at some of the textile plays today as a possible short-term trade, Nilesh? Because there seems to be a knee-jerk reaction that just because Bangladesh's tariff has gone down 1%, it's going to be a pain point for Indian textile companies. Now, it's literally 19-20, if you look at it that way, or 18-19 in this case.
But sorry, just the small difference out there is that on specific garments made out of American cotton and yarn, the duty could go down to 0.
For Bangladesh.
For Bangladesh. So therefore, that is why maybe some of the Indian textile companies might be
And we don't have a similar deal. We right now have a blanket 20%, which obviously was better than 50. 18, which was better than 50, but they went from 20 to 19.
20 to 19, which is, like you said, 19.
But
for whatever percentage of American cotton that they will get in, they will have 0 duty. So I think that is what is happening.
How much time would it take for us to negotiate a similar deal? Because that clearly seems to be the push. Is that what remains to be seen? In any case, Nilesh, is there sort of a recovery that you could see there, an opportunity you see in some of those textile stocks that are getting hammered down on the charts?
Well, I would rather wait for a confirmation because we have already seen a spurt of over 20 to 40% in this space. So Wellspun Living is up close to 18% in this month itself. So there could be possibility of some bit of retracement towards 140, 138. If at all it dips towards 138, there could be an opportunity to take a contra bet for an upside target of 148 to 150 again. And similarly, GoCash, in fact, this particular counter is comparatively better placed, although it's up close to 50% in this month itself. But it has already given a breakout above its long-term 200-day moving average. So overall, position target is still intact of 900 plus. But ideally, a buying range could be somewhere around 750 to 780. If at all you get in that particular range, then only it's a buy. And then keep a stop loss below 700. Position target is intact of 900 plus.
While we're on the subject of textiles, there are multiple tailwinds that are eventually coming through. Of course, the latest is this US trade agreement. But even before that, with the GST cut, there is a benefit in using synthetic blends, less cotton. So I want to ask Parag Bhai whether he thinks this is a positive. We just got a minute, but would you build into this? So there's a GST impact plus this US thing.
No. So I think definitely. See, the only problem is that some of these garment-related stocks like Gokuldas and all, they have rallied too hard after this US trade deal, and they deserved it. But now, even if there is some short-term negative which comes due to this Bangladesh, they might correct a bit. That is the only thing. Otherwise, I would definitely agree with Tamanna that over a period of time, we will also have a competitive advantage. As you rightly said, in the synthetic GST coming down way, and of course on the tariff side also with US.
You know, some of these textiles, gems and jewelry, and when the EU deal kind of really catches on, might be interesting to see what the Indian share happens in the EU markets, because that could be really, really interesting. It was really low. But we have 30 seconds. Kush Bora, if I were to push you for one top call today.
M&M Financial, 400, 410 targets, 380 stop loss. And just a quick word, Sport King is a stock that you can look at in the textile space, but on declines. Less discussed name, but on declines.
Yeah, out and out a textile manufacturer of finished goods, incidentally. Interesting one. Sports goods, I think, sports textiles is something that it does as well. But here's how the markets are starting off this morning. We probably be around 50 odd points in the green if the pre-open rates are to be believed. Let's see if we flip from there. Well, we are flipping a little bit here and there. 15 odd points, in fact, ready to break into the red. Are we? Very, very flat, effectively. Similarly for the mid caps, a quiet start. The market breadth is deceptive because the small cap index, let's get the heat map up on the screen and show you what is moving and what is not. Well, not too many movers. So that's the first piece you establish. Oil prices and metals by and large, silver, oil, gold, etc. All of them have gone up, but oil prices moving up, very likely leading to ONGC doing what it is doing. Titan has about a 0.8% uptick, Cipla small upticks, Axis, Eternal, Larsen & Toubro, Nestle, HDFC Life. No big standout winners, just that ONGC because of oil prices, which may also come off, never know, right? Even Stevens almost a bit more green than red actually. What is not doing well? Tech has taken a backseat yet again. Wipro and HCL Tech leading. Tech Mahindra 2 and Infi also in the top 10 losers, by the way. There is some bit of weakness in Hindalco and JSW Steel. There's some bit of weakness in Interglobe Aviation. So those are a few which are cooling off, but nothing too dramatic here on the large cap space. Just coming back to that 50 odd point uptick, Tamanna, but Nothing that dramatic in the session today, save for maybe ONGC, primarily because of the crude price uptick.
I think we can celebrate that there's no dramatic correction after the kind of run-up that we're seeing, and we're still in positive territory. That's not half bad either. If you're still about 65 points up and you're not on the Nifty and you're not really slid down in trade, your India VIX is also doing okay below the mark of 12. I want to pull up the broader markets if we can very quickly. The mid-cap and the small-cap indices at this point. Nifty mid-cap about 70 points up in the green right now. The small-cap also thereabouts. So you're about 0.5% up in the green. Advanced decline ratio also looking decent. If you look at it on the broader markets, 1649 to 560. So this is a positive market. It's stock specific where all the action's going to be. Having said that, let's pull up the sectoral heat map and just give you a sense of what's working and what's not. India defense, right up there, less than 1% up on the index, and it's a not a very largely populated index. Few stocks there, few counters there, but about 1% up. Consumer durables doing okay. Pharma, because of those individual stocks more than anything else. Nifty IT and PSU banks seeing a bit of a hit, but hardly. I mean, it's like a 0.2% negative on the Nifty IT and on PSU banks as well. So this is largely, like I said, broadly a positive market. Let's look at specific stocks, and I think it's the result candidates that we should pull up first that we've been talking about. They were shining in the pre-open session. Do they continue to see that kind of a buzz? Yes, pretty much. Navin Fluorine 4% up. Linde India 5% up right now. Sansera Engineering, another one with good numbers. BSE, let's look at BSE. Let's look at Amber. Amber, actually, I always say that incorrectly. It's Amber doing well, 5% up on BSE. Amber doing okay. Newland Labs, I mean, you get punished if your numbers aren't great right now because the mean seems to be so much better, especially in the broader markets. So that's why you're seeing Amber doing well and Newland not really. I want to look at the tariff cut impact, and we've been talking about what is going to be the total impact. We'll get more details for you on this with experts and from our team as well on what exactly it is that Bangladesh would have over India as far as textiles exports are concerned. But Wellspun Living, KPR Mills seeing the pain there. Trident, Vardhaman Textiles, some of those other stocks as well may not be doing too well today, both about between 2.5% to 3% down. Gravita is the other stock that we were looking into. They're getting into copper recycling at the time when that commodity is becoming so precious. Good move strategically, 3.5% up in the green. Marico on an acquisition spree has announced one more acquisition. Stock not doing much, pretty much flat. So these are some of the key ones, but many more reacting specifically to news because it has been a news every day, isn't it, Alex?
Absolutely, Tamanna. And Pfizer, one of them, I'm not sure if you highlighted it, but it was in the list, yeah. So it is one of the top gainers from that broader pack. But there are more. Realtel reacting to an order win up and about 7% or thereabouts. Bata India. This is, I must confess, this stood out to me purely on the back of that margin performance, but I was not too enthused by the revenue growth. And that stood at about 3%, 2.8% in the quarter gone by. The numbers came through after market hours, but the EBITDA has grown by about 6.6%. You have margins that have up about 80 basis points, coming at 22.4%, as a result of which the PAT growth has come in at about 13% or thereabouts. And Bata standing out as one of the top gainers in the broader markets on the back of earnings. Ircon is doing reasonably okay. BSE is up and about 5.3% or so. GSK Pharma, another stock that is doing particularly well. Praj is a stock that I haven't seen in a while in the top lists, is up about 4.2% or thereabouts. And doing reasonably well. So that's the first flush of top gainers. Let me look at the losing end as well. Newland, having recovered a little bit from the lows that it has plunged to, is down about 4% at this point. Ramco Cement is losing ground as well, 4% or thereabouts. And quite a few of these textile companies are then in the list. Paytm as well, losing about 2% or thereabouts. I wonder what you think, Parag Bhai, on Bata. Because for me, the first look was a 3% revenue growth is nothing really to write home about, but the margin improvement seems to be what the street is enthused by.
See, these stocks have not done anything, right? They have been completely rogered. So they are oversold actually. Sure. And some of the results, I have not seen Bata results, but Campus, I saw the results. Results were very good. Okay, but the stocks have corrected so much. But still on PE basis, the stocks will look expensive because still the earnings have not yet catched up. So, but these are some of the beneficiaries of GST cuts.
Yeah.
Because these are low ticket items. Where they might have got a margin benefit also due to GST cut, like I keep saying about tires.
Sure.
That this is the industry. These are the industries where you can benefit out of the GST cuts.
But Parag bhai, that GST cut, just to take that argument forward, it should have reflected in volumes and revenue growth as well.
I'm saying little bit of the GST cut. Who is going to ask you in shoes and tires kind of things? Business when you sell to a direct consumer, you can keep little bit of margin with you, na. Tires 70% is replacement market. So if you are selling to Tata Motors or Maruti, they are going to ask every single penny which you have earned out of. But when you are selling to when you are selling to Alex, he is not going to bargain about CEAT tires. Kyun sasta hai? Milna chahiye GST.
Have you actually met Alex and tried to negotiate anything with him? He probably will ask you. No. As an aside. But just talking about some of the pharma chemical names. I know we spent a lot of time on Navin Fluorine, GSK Pharma, Pfizer, all of those. But in terms of that entire space, from two perspectives. One, self-reliance, etc. And the other, that this whole chokehold with the US opening up, with EU opening up, India does have the potential to become the dispensary of the world. And do we really have more opportunities out there not yet spotted in this space?
So I think, see, Lupin, Granules, these are some of the stocks which we own in the portfolio, generic wise. And in the multinational pharma, as I said, Glaxo and Pfizer. So Pfizer continues to deliver very good results quarter after quarter. And I don't know how they continue to do margin expansion. Now the margins are 35-36%. And Glaxo also delivered very good numbers, I think. So Glaxo also should go up, in my view. So these are the pockets. One is generic pocket, as we discussed, and of course then the mother of all, Sun Pharma, where you have got everything. Super branded formulation business is in India, plus specialty pharma business in US.
Well, and by the way, a lot of those stocks are actually doing well, and you can argue that Pfizer, by virtue of its 800 basis points margin expansion, is the top draw on the NSE 500. Nilesh, come in as a trading play on any of these pharma names, and a word on Pfizer really, because it's really bolted out of the stables today and leading the pack in the race.
Right, Neeraj. So we have already seen a spurt of over 7% in Pfizer, but we have also seen a very strong rebound in this particular counter. So that is giving a sense of confidence that we may see a follow-up on the upside to continue towards 5,300 to 5,500 on immediate basis. But fresh longs can only be initiated on declines because the risk and reward is certainly not looking favorable at current level. So better approach should be to buy in a staggered manner, keep a stop loss below 4,900, and target on the upside could be somewhere around 5,400 to 5,500.
Wow, 5,400 to 5,500. Watch out for Pfizer really doing well for itself. I'm tempted to ask you, Kush Bora, what is it that you spotted in the first minutes of trade? Would you tell the viewers to buy into anything that you advise to buy before market open as well?
But just before that, Neeraj, one point I want to make, which even Parag bhai ended up confirming, which is a lot of stocks are beaten down. अब आपको ये separate करना पड़ेगा कि कौन से stocks में genuine rally आई है और कौन से stocks में वो rally आई है कि भाई अब इतने oversold हो गए तो थोड़ा तो एक bump up बनता है.
So you want to use the word छल्लावा?
Oh yeah, actually it's quite apt for this move कि कौन से stocks में छलावा वाला rally आया है और कौन से stocks में genuine sustainable rally आया है. While we can go into the depths of all of this in some other session, volume backed movement would be one of the most basic checks that you can do. Also, let's not forget one thing. Very soon, I think we'll hit a point where a lot of people will start either booking profits or selling because of the underperformance that they've seen in a long time. Not now, but maybe sometime down the line. Now, to answer the question, what looks good from here? M&M Financial even now looks good. It had a slight positive opening, seeing some profit booking, but I think I'd remain constructive. 4-5 sessions of gains, so maybe some consolidation is par for the course. Look at something like Supreme Industries. 4 sessions, consolidation on the back of healthy volumes. Now a breakout above that very recent resistance of 37.25. this momentum could continue for the day. So 37.70, 38.50, these were the targets you could continue to hold Supreme Industries, and HDFC AMC is more of a positional bet, not a trader counter per se. So double down on Supreme Industries and HDFC AMC.
Okay, thank you so much, Nilesh, Kush and Parag, for joining in today on this part of the show. And now we turn our attention to corporate focus.